Hey everybody, welcome to Bomb Squad. I'm Dan Stacy, and you're about to witness my nerdy family and I use silly voices and exploding dice to tell a good story. And you thought he was gone. He's never gone.
It's like, hi guys.
David's back. We're
Much to
playing
dismay.
a special Iliad one-shot to see what is going on with Iliad. I'm going to turn this down. Jeremy Soule, Northerner Diary.
There's a lot of gas going on with Iliad, that's right now, for sure.
Oh, man. Hey.
I mean, I was gone
my
earlier.
random tables of encounters.
Why do you think I was gone? I did have that gigantic Berg.
He did. All right. Anyways.
When I asked you earlier about whether the thing was over a certain size, I failed to ask you, was it corporeal?
You did fail to ask that.
Oh, crap. I take it all back. I unbuild my build. I'm reverting.
That would be hilarious. The most giantest of reeks. I can see you, man. Oh, no. All right. I don't think we have anything else to say. We have
Wait, no, we do have one more thing to say.
Okay.
Iliad's laying on the ground, looking up, and it's like cloud watching. Oh, that one's the shape of a...
I have to say it because Ryan's not here. We are children. Yay! All right. So, anyways, stay tuned for a special guest who will be joining us as soon as possible. But we'll wait and see what happens there.
Elon
Otherwise,
Musk.
that could be lonely. Elon Musk.
It's just the perfume that he wears.
know why.
Yeah. Yeah. Just someone
It's
say
motor
money.
oil.
Unbelievable. David's not even looking. Oh,
What?
Nothing.
Oh, I mixed.
Anyways, this works really well with everything we talked about. Let's dive into the muskiest episode of Bomb Squad. And
High dive.
we dive back in.
That was
right.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
All right.
Ah, he's in.
Austin
All
hardly
right.
had a splash.
Is someone doing fireworks while we're having Bomb Squad?
It's a little early, but yeah. Was I not?
It's for our special guest. Man, I don't want to
There's an
spoil it.
explosive entrance coming, I'm sure of it.
Oh, dear. I'm okay with
right.
explosive entrances, not explosive exits.
Classic episode 1. So, here we go. We're going to do a little... David's already ready to roll
ready.
dice. He hasn't
ready.
rolled
Oh, no,
dice
I'm not
so
gonna look.
long. That's the rule. If he doesn't look at the dice, it doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
All right, fair enough. So we are going to quickly chat what you guys... So, I'll say it right now. We have, of course, Austin playing Jeberg today. And since we had Iliad, he couldn't be too long parted from his unrequited love. Zach is playing Kari.
Oh, yeah.
He grew out his hair just for the role.
Perfect.
I'm just...
Which one? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because David never remembers that Tiri's a girl.
I still always call you a he.
Yep. All right. So
man.
let's talk about what's been going on. So Ilyad and Jeberg left the party
Yeah.
right by Nori's house, I believe, is where we ended up having the departure. And you guys headed south to the next continent over, so crossing that isthmus that kind of connects the two continents and returning to Iliad's old stomping grounds. And so there's a crime syndicate. I'm just going to kind of do a little overview of what you guys kind of learned in past Bomb Squad episodes, but there's a a gnome named Fennec, who's taken over this crime syndicate and has kind of built it up, and Ilyad was used as a scapegoat and had to flee, and that's why he eventually ended up with the party, is he couldn't go stay in his homeland. He was used as a scapegoat that started Fennec's whole role to becoming the leader of this crime syndicate.
You're a fugitive?
On the run. Man, this is going back like
All the way to the beginning.
4 years now.
Yeah,
almost.
So my question I had posed to you guys was, what over the year, because we have Kari's going to be joining at the end of this year. Over this year, the Falcon had called you home. You're seeking this something that needs to be found. There's this source of some kind of great power. Not sure what it is, if it's an item or some kind of magic book, or you're not very clear on it, but you know there's this thing that needs to be found and dealt with. And during the time you're there, you realize Fennec also knows about this. Again, he doesn't know what it is, but he is also seeking it. And you guys eventually do find it. And that's where we're going to pick up the story. But let's just get a little bit of conversation about what's this past year been like for Ilyad and Jeberg.
I mean, for Ilyad, I think a lot of it, I mean, originally at the departing, I think that he had a lot of questions. And here coming into, you know, into
like, why didn't you swing by the house before you left?
I know, you would have thought. You would have thought.
You would have thought.
Yeah. But with
She
all
did
that being
think.
said, so Ilyad having all these questions, I think a lot of it, and the confusion just from Bittersweet kind of not falling apart, but here disbanding after a lot of traumatic events and different things like that. I think a lot of it, he throughout this journey to find this stuff, has been trying to pick up the pieces from his old life, understand more about his parents, and hopefully just picking up clues from that, and to see kind of where, I don't know, have we interacted with the Fennec yet? I mean, or is that not?
Well, that's something we can kind of chat about now.
Okay.
Because that was my question to you was, is Ilyad staying on the DL? We could even
Right.
do a roll or two here to see what happens. I think would be probably the best way.
Sure, I like that idea.
Are you purposefully trying to hide? Of course, we'll get to Jeberg in a second.
Okay.
He is trying to hide a bit.
I think I feel like I'm inclined to say I thought that I would feel somewhat.
You should be doing this in Ilyad's voice because it's the conversation you and Jeberg are having as you're.
I'd like to say that I think if I were to, but I might not step right in to the town. But if
Get
we
it
were,
over with.
I'd think I'd like to stay on the DL.
The what?
Yeah, what am I doing there? I don't have that expression. I mean, I think I'd like to.
Sorry, we have a bug. Okay.
Oh, it's a bug.
It was a bug. Oh, my word.
I thought I was getting a legend point already. I was like, woo, killing it. I think I'd like to
You did kill
remain
it. Carry on.
somewhat quiet. I don't want to make waves. Don't know what. I really don't know what to
You want
expect.
to stay hidden, is what you're saying.
Well, you said that so nicely. I really do appreciate you as an ear to discuss with. It's been a nice long journey.
Too long? Too long.
You know, have you looked at those clouds back there?
That's perfect. Okay, well done. All right, so let's have Ilyad roll your agility with advantage as you and Jeberg are working together.
Does that mean second D20? No. I gotta get back
No,
into
you got
this.
more than that in agility. I believe it's a 6 or a 7.
2d8.
Did you level up your character?
I did.
We did it together.
What? Oh,
I had no moment. I genuinely had no moment.
I
I
believe you.
did start to do it myself, but then I thought, well, he's right here.
What is this?
I says to myself, I says, Austin is sitting next to
He'll
me.
know.
So it's 2d8, but I can't remember. No, influence and presence, yes. Thank you. Yeah.
So then an extra D8
Yes.
and drop the lowest D8.
2d20s?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you had one.
Oh. I was like,
Got so
oh,
excited.
nice.
Easy. Wow.
First roll, best roll. Oh, I just moved it.
Well, it is what it is.
Shut up. I just got a nat 20. Right. It was totally natural. Okay. On 2 1s, but...
It was Jeberg with his little spear shaft. Tink.
So I lose the lowest, right? One of the lowest. Okay, so
doesn't
6,
matter.
26.
No.
Oh, and I get to it's exploding.
It is exploding.
Oh, okay, all right. 39.
Okay. Very nice. I'll roll just for the heck of it. Okay.
Next time it's gonna be a.
Got really bad. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Their
Means
perception. You're good.
Okay.
You were very good.
So we were hidden, fairly hidden.
Yeah, so I'd say you guys are able to operate. You slip in. One of the important things we've already established is that you met up with your orc friend Zoya, who had been basically running what was left of the Alleyway Singers, a few kids, and the Alleyway Singers they were more of a con gang. They would set up shop. Everybody who was brought into there had some kind of influence bard-like abilities, and so they would play songs and charm people, steal money and stuff, but the big thing for them was no violence. They're very much the like honorable thieves type of feel to this excuse me, to the group, and there's very few left as Fennec came in and take over. He actually combined several of the different gangs that were fighting in the area. He was able to bring them all in kind of a bloody gang war over a long period of time. All this time you've been gone, he's brought them under his power, as he still declares himself the maestro, who was once known as the leader of the Alleyway Singers, and now he is the maestro and controls all of the gangs in this area, stretching into the orc territories, from the elven cities into the orc territories. And this is why Proctor Mala had told you he was kind of having to work with Fennec to be able to get the whale's fin out into the orc territories, and working with that because Fennec holds such sway over the whole area.
He's a kingpin.
Yeah, he's very much, the whole area where Ilyad grew up is now kind of run by the gangs, by the syndicate.
The syndicate being this larger...
Yeah, what once was the Alleyway Singers, who have now absorbed, taking on this new mantle with the new maestro of Fennec, becoming much more, getting into the drug dealing sort of area and some of the arcane, dark arcane arts and stuff. He's kind of brought all the gangs together under one giant syndicate, with him at the top. So you have a lot of run-ins with the gang, and this is where you end up actually meeting up with your cousin, because Ilyad had grown up after his parents had died. He grew up with his aunt and uncle and his 2 cousins. You ended up meeting up with your male cousin. Yes. 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And there it is. But I don't know if you remember, your kind of pet name for him is his middle name of Homer.
Right, Homer.
So you had met up with him. He was actually working for the syndicate. Almost everybody does. It's not anything terribly special that he was. But you realize that after you had left, your aunt and uncle kind of fell on hard times. If you remember, you took some very important things with you that may have factored in.
Oh dear.
To the situation.
They deserved it.
Not that Homer 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂 knows that, but you guys ended up pairing up. What was that like? And maybe I'll pause right there. Actually, we should jump over to Jeberg too. Let's hear about Jeberg walking into this situation.
Sure. I think part of it too is, I think with Ilyad's role, I'm an unknown in that area.
Yeah, I was going to say that covers Jeberg as well.
I mean, I'm an unknown in that area, and I want to remain an unknown in that area. As far as Jeberg's concerned, the fall of the faith that happened in Avicen, I mean, he felt utterly betrayed by everything he lived for, by everything he believed in, all the people, one of his best friends, if not his best friend, was killed. I mean, he was just left ravaged emotionally, and with that, part of and maybe this is a spoiler alert, but part of that, he literally removed the armor and what he stood for off of his body, and left with nothing out of 𝑣𝒐𝒻. And because of that, like a lot of his abilities, a lot of his strengths were in that armor and those abilities, in those things. His status, the power that he got, a lot of it was from those things. His flight, for example, even just that by itself, was part of it. And being that was stripped away from him, he's been spending this entire year, and kind of gleaning off of the stay low, in the low profile aspect that Ilyad was able to train him in, to retrain himself. He is looking for truth, whatever that looks like. He is a very strong-willed person. He is a very honorable person still to the core, but he's had to retrain the way that he fights and protects himself, because what he had is gone. And he doesn't want that. Or he wants to be able to find some redemptive aspect of it, but it's not going to be where it was. It's got to be somewhere else. If the dragon was there, the dragon can be here too, but he's got to show himself in a different way. So Jeberg has been reinventing himself, if you will. The way that he fights, the way that he protects, he's very by himself at this point. But he understands the necessity of allies. So he's been staying close to Ilyad. Ilyad knows the place. He knows his way around. And then coming into this situation, he was a paladin. Like, his desire to protect others is still there. It just looks a little bit different. Seeing potentially an opportunity to be able to remove someone from being broken themselves, he knows what that feels like. And so taking 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂 out of that is, I think, coming out of that, it's a nope. Fine. It doesn't hurt me any at the moment, and I think it's a good thing to do if we can.
And we had talked a little bit about, with his rejection of the faith, he has a physical brand now.
Yes.
How do you imagine it?
There was, I think the removal of his armor there, I would say, is this part of the magic, part of the energy that coursed through it, literally was ingrained in him. It was grafted onto him in some way that it symbolically and literally was able to draw from life force and draw from the energy that he was able to put into his faith. So when removing the gauntlets, there were burn marks that came from those gauntlets. And so on the top of his hands, there's these very large, like, crescent scars where the gauntlets themselves would bite in and had that. And so he's got these two massive, very clear, evidently burn marks and circles on his hands.
I love that. I'll add to it that, and Jeberg would probably know this anyways, he may not even attempt to hide it, that even if someone tries to put wrappings around it, it will burn through the cloth. Yes. Leaving the same image on the cloth. It's very... You can't get away from it. Known as the betrayer.
Right.
Yep. Okay, that's awesome. So meeting up with 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂, I'll throw out that we had, with Zoya, you and Aurora were in communication a little bit with letters, and finding out about the orphanage that Aurora had started, you sent Zoya and what few kids she had, which ended up being a lot, to Aurora and her orphanage. So
now, were they kind of, with Zora and those kids associated with her, somehow remaining outside of the syndicate? Or they just kind of escaped?
Zoya was trying to, she was also hiding out, trying to stay away. They're definitely hunted, especially Zoya, because she remained true to the old, the old ways of the alleyway singers. And she was basically just trying to keep these kids alive and out of the gangs. And so you sent her away with as many of the kids as she could, to Aurora in Prati. And so what's it look like meeting up with 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂, and he's actually able to help you guys. Going back and forth. Should we bring 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂 in?
Sounds like he's here.
I think he's here. Yeah, let's bring him in.
𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂!
Yeah.
Whoa! It's you!
Yeah, I just brought the inn over, and I just stepped out the door, and there I was. Here.
What? We were just talking about 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂, so what luck.
Oh, yeah. Well, there we go. There we go.
For those who couldn't possibly not know, this is Adam from Interplanar Crossroads, who we do lots of collaborations with.
Well, greetings and salutations, travelers.
Oh, he said it.
That's so good. It is crazy. I mean, you guys aren't experiencing him in the flesh, but we are, and it's pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
Well, I'm not going to argue with them if they say so.
Anyways, we'll do shout outs for the Interplanar Crossroads at the end of the episode, but 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂, how's he feeling with meeting up with Ilyad again?
Well, we discussed before he's been... 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂 is not the character I'm actually playing, but 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂 is feeling both... I guess Ilyad was his favorite cousin, because Ilyad didn't do everything that all the other cousins did, and so they had a bond there that he didn't get to have with the other cousins. So he's glad to see him, but there's a bit of resentment there because when he left, everything changed. So, adult or not, there's still that a bit of, you know, that puts some stress on them meeting up, sharing, and actually getting to bond back together. I think that he wants to, though. And that's why he decides that he really insists on helping them find whatever they were looking for. Not only because he's able to get out of the syndicate in doing so. They offer him a protection that the syndicate can't quite come straight up against. But there's also that desire to bond with his cousin again. And the slight envy of his cousin, because he left, and when he left, 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂 fell, but he rose, and now he wants to rise back up. So,
Yeah, I love that. So you guys pair up. Ilyad knows he's searching for something. I think 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂 is able to help in that because Fennec's also searching for it, being a low-level kind of dude in the syndicate, he hears things, and you guys do eventually find...
𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂 has a ace of information, you know?
Nice.
Comment below if you know what he's saying. But you guys find your way into this underground area in the city. It's part of the old city from long ago. You end up, the main thing you end up finding over lots of trials through, it's very much a dungeon delve of going through this place and all these traps and adventures you guys have. And feel free to think it up in your heads and throw out memories later on. Excuse me.
Of this past year, you're talking.
Specifically the dungeon delve and stuff,
Okay,
too.
all right.
You know, anyways, we didn't get to talk about that too much, but you guys make it to this place where there is a sarcophagus with this mummified body in it. And on discovering that Ilyad, as the paladin of the Falcon, you recognize that there's this source of power. And I think you and Jeberg are discussing what you're going to do next when 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂 chooses his own path.
Right. 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂 would probably had known that he wasn't very helpful on the way down. Aside from knowing where to kind of go, 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂 didn't have much to offer other than that. He feels like he's hanging on to the coattails of Ilyad. And then as they're discussing things, they're busy in their discussion, and the lips of the mummy kind of move just like it's really hard for it to happen. And there's this breath of a whisper that catches 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂's ear, and it's an enticing whisper of saying, "See how he rose, and you have fallen. See how great he has become. What has happened to you? Will you let that be it? Is that all you can do? What were you, Niccomedes? Niccomedes? Who will know that name? Who will remember you? I can offer strength. Take the tablet, Niccomedes. I can offer strength. I will help you rise to meet your cousin. And those slight whisperings, and it may not happen right there. They may get they may start to take the tablet out or stuff like that. But at some point, I imagine, in between coming out fully and Nicomedes and everybody figuring out what they want to do with the tablet, Nicomedes will actually take the tablet and hold it in his hands. And there's a moment of agreement. And a foul kind of whisper happens when that happens. And Nicomedes, I think you both would actually feel a disturbance, especially Ilyad.
Yeah.
Because this being is called the Tormentor. And this Jinn.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I just have a thing.
Okay.
Just want to make sure you remember. Go ahead.
So, on the tablet and on those winds, a kind of poem or almost psalm or chant comes out. Pain. I'll make you a believer. A believer. Pain. And when every time pain is said, Nicomedes cries a little bit louder. And there's this huge rush of wind coming that neither seem to be able to push through at that moment because it all happened so fast. And it keeps on going. I'll break you down. I'll tear you up. Believe me. Believe me. Oh, let the screams fly. Let them rain. My life, my love, my drive. It comes from pain. And that's the last pain. And as Nicomedes cries, and at the higher than he cried when you were ever children and he ever got hurt, or a wail of pain that hasn't been heard by either one of you probably since the riot at the Halseta. The winds died down. I'll make you a believer, but it's not coming from the winds anymore. And that believer, that last believer, is when it turns. And Nicomedes' color is drained from his face. A wide smile is on his mouth. And his hair that used to be kind of golden has stripped white, almost translucent, like the nourishment is gone from it. And his eyes, that are supposed to match, as all elves do, so look black. But as you stare into them with that last believer, you see there are motes of color that float in them. Believer. It has been a long time, Sahib. Not you specifically. But I see you in the cycle now. You, the champion of the Falcon, partnered with a tiny dragon.
I mean, he obviously, as soon as he speaks, Jeberg has his staff with him, and he's whirling this little dervish, and he's just ready. Like he doesn't even know.
Adorable, very adorable, he says as his body becomes translucent and invisible. But you still hear the voice.
And now to pull out really quick here. Does Ilyad, does he know the concept of what is going on because of the connection to the Falcon, or?
I think right in that moment, you're gonna get all of a sudden your tattoos light up.
Okay.
And your eyes go, and you get this flash of, you hear the Falcon just say in your head, hold the chain, Althane. And I think we're going to do a roll real quick because this just feels intense. What was the raise hand before we go to the
Prescience.
roll? Okay. Yes, please. Go right ahead. Let's do... I think it's probably going to be, actually, your will against his resolve. Because I don't think Ilyad's doing it... Well, let's do the wills. Will versus will.
Is there any way that
like
I can bolster him? Or not at this point? I'm pretty.
Do you have like prescience?
No.
Right now. No. Roll your presence as luck to see if you pick up on what's going on.
Okay.
19.
19. And where? You
Kari's
guys go ahead.
Kari's back home. It's just
Okay.
maybe a tingle or something.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Let's see what kind of tingle.
18.
18. It's not enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking like 20.
What happened?
You wasted it on sneaking.
Okay, 10.
10. All right.
16.
16. Okay. So, Ilyad, in that moment, you're still in the space. You almost don't see anything, but I think we're going to give you a glimpse of what has taken over 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂, so we can get a great description of that. I think in this moment, Ilyad, all of a sudden, everything fades away, and it's just the two of you in this dark space, and you suddenly see this chain come up that's attaching each of your chests to each other. What does Ilyad see in the dark?
As the true form of the Jinn?
Yeah, or whatever, however much you think would be. I think the true form might be fun in this moment, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
He sees something along this line. So,
Yikes.
Ouch.
Dan has a picture for you watching at home.
Yes.
But this is kind of what he would see. And I guess the chain would allow him to see him while he's invisible.
Are those all eyes, or is that just hair?
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Those
That's
are
cool.
eyes.
Those are all eyes.
Oh, really? That's coming
They
off
look-
like that?
They look, it's an entire mane that runs down his spine of eyes attached to these. They don't look like beholder kind of stems. They look like peacock feathers.
Yeah,
made
that's what
of tendrils.
The vibe I was getting.
And they fly, they kind of float up, and they seem to be watching.
What?
And the thing is, you see some kind of looking over at Jeberg, but almost all of them would be staring intensely at you. And in that moment, the Falcon's own thing might be visible to
Yes,
him.
I think behind Ilyad, kind of this fiery image almost of the Falcon coming off of. And there's like, I like the idea of almost like Lord of the Rings when he's putting on the ring, everything else. There's that washed out, flaming kind of Jeberg in the background. Okay, so Ilyad,
Just looking around.
you're going to feel the chain pull, even though the tormentor doesn't move. You feel as if he's pulling away from you, and as those eyes are focusing on you, you feel the Falcon just pour into you, and your whole body lights on fire, and there's pain. You're going to take 1 level of fatigue as you do gain control, but this is going to be success with a twist. You're taking a level of fatigue, but you're still locking the chain and holding onto it as it almost feels like it's going to pull your body out. And there's just that moment you have together, and then you're back. Ilyad's still glowing. Jeberg, you can see Ilyad's glowing. His eyes are like a falcon's eyes, and 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂 is just standing there looking.
Seems the chain is still too tight, Sahib.
The
He kind of just
yeah.
folds back.
Legend point. Come on.
Yes, 100%. That's what we were waiting for.
Oh, a thing to mention.
Oh yes.
On his skin, on his back, because I would imagine that some of the clothes are tattered. You can see that some writing has appeared on 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒂's skin. You gotta pass it around.
Yeah, yeah.
Oops, sorry.
Well, I'll have a scan or a picture of
I
that,
like
and it'll
that
be
the-
underneath me.
The eyes have this plumage, evil plumage and mockery of the falcon.
Yeah. Both
Zach
birds.
smiles at me. So I think I don't even need to describe the kind of tingling
Okay.
Kari gets.
Yeah.
And that actually leads into, well, maybe of that pull for her to want to leave. Hold on. Easy tormentor.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
No, that was Ilyad passing gas.
Now is not the time.
So one of the modes I have him go into is a vengeful wind. This is not the time for such a thing.
Oh dear.
Wow.
Did you want that back? I'm sorry.
Did you want to say that?
Cough Jack. So,
Has Nicomedes reappeared?
we're gonna time skip now.
Okay.
Because I wanted to have that moment of meeting the
Cool.
tormentor and
Cool.
Nicomedes. This sets the thing. So you guys realize, of course, this is the power that
we
was
were
being
seeking.
sought. And the Falcon, I think you guys will start to learn probably a combination of what the tormentor and the Falcon divulge. You know, the Falcon being these images and words to Ilyad, and the tormentor, of course, whispering. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Is there, and maybe this is something I should be deciding, but I don't know if there's any feeling of loss with, like, is there any shot? I don't know yet if Ilyad in that. I know we're skipping ahead now, but
Well, I think I know where you're going, and I think
Okay.
this will.
Oh, okay.
This will fit in with the skip. Well, no, go keep going.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking, what's Ilyad's reaction to? Is it more utter like, what the heck is going on? Chaos, fear, but like fear with confidence, I guess, because he knows the Falcon's involved here, over the tormentor appearing and showing up, or is there? I guess I'm still deciding, or if you have an idea, let me know. How much loss does he feel with his cousin now? Mm-hmm. I don't know, because watching someone completely transform, basically.
Right. Well, I think we'll get a little description of what's happening in Nicomedes over this slight time skip where we get to where Kari shows up.
Okay.
Because I think what you described there is exactly what Ilyad's feeling in that moment, because that's just, you don't even have time to think about what's just happened.
Right, because it's like...
suddenly flash, seeing that before you.
Right.
It's trying to rip your insides out, trying to pull away, and you now feel this I don't know what the descriptive word is, but you cannot shake this feeling of being connected to this creature. And it's over now this time, as the high of that moment settles and time passes, where you guys are realizing this tormentor is some kind of ancient being and has made some offers to you of help. So maybe, Adam, you can talk about what's happening to Nicomedes over this next jump of time, and also what maybe he's offering to help them find.
I think that the exchange on that would be, the Falcon is obviously feeding a bit of information of what to ask for, kind of giving that guidance. And it would boil down to something along the lines of, "Yes, Sahib, I can take you to where you need to go, but it is useless. Why do you fight against him anyway? I've already helped him find the thing he needed and place his piece where it needed to be. And I don't see a problem with it. You're going to fail anyway. Why are you worried about it? There's no reason to push yourself. Relax, can't you wait? Visit with your cousin. I'll let you see him. I'll go in and let him out. But you have to stay. I can't be doing that, Sahib, if there's no proper way to do that. Can't you wait a little while? A little longer. There's no need to go to the wastes right now, disturb the witch. There's nothing to disturb the witch in the waste. And to hunt the beast. There's no reason for that.
And Ilyad knows what he's talking about. Semi. So I love David's face. Yeah, I saw you.
got at least enough.
No, I was interested to see what you're saying. But the Falcon will try to help fill in the blanks.
Okay. Well, and I wasn't sure if we were actually going to role play that out, or if it was to get an impression about what his role is right now, right?
If
Or a
you
little
have
bit of
something,
both.
go for it. But
Okay.
yeah, otherwise it can be that kind of sums up multiple conversations.
Yeah.
And
think so. Yeah.
he has interacted with 𝑛ahaziq specifically, and is so old that he was there when 𝑛ahaziq first took the steps to becoming godlike, and knows of a piece of that puzzle that could be the undoing of 𝑛ahaziq. And this is what the Falcon is wanting you to find.
Right. And you said that this is the thing that we were
This was the
searching
thing
for,
originally,
technically.
but it's the first step of many. Now you must find these shards, these things that 𝑛ahaziq used and has hidden away, that he used to rend his soul from his body and keep his soul from passing into judgment and being sent to death. And that was one of the first steps on his way to godhood.
Right.
Although some would, disagree with him being a god. He's a usurper.
Right.
So that's what you're seeking.
Okay.
That's what you're now going to be seeking.
Gotcha.
So what's happening to 𝑛echemedes during this time?
Well, physically, 𝑛echemedes was when he was in his normal state, he was fat for a elf. But after working for the Syndicate, he kind of slimmed down a little bit. But depending on how long the weaseling of the information out takes, you can tell that you never see 𝑛echemedes eat anything. You never see 𝑛echemedes drink anything. You never see 𝑛echemedes, if Dan's okay with it, roll a kind of perception, I guess would be right for it, check.
Yeah, sure.
To kind of see just how much you know. And if Kari's there by now, she could too. So.
Just remember when I show up.
Okay.
4.
23.
Jeberg knows and may tell Ilyad that you don't even see him breathe.
That's weird.
He's just he'll just sit there sometimes and watch, not move, not eat, not drink, not breathe. And it's not that he's not talkative, it's that getting the information out requires layers of piecing apart. He doesn't always mention the beast, or always mention the wastes, or always mention needing to go and find it. But when certain prompts are done, it's like he can't help but tell you certain things.
Okay.
So.
Let's jump to when Kari shows up then, I think. Because the boys are processing over here. Do you want me to set up something, or did you have something in particular you were imagining?
I'm mostly curious about what kind of escort helps get her, across continent, because she didn't.
It's connected by land, so she can travel, and there is a major highway, if you will. There is a lot of trade, so some kind of caravan would always be heading to and fro from there.
All right. Yeah, and her MO is going to be, rolling along in her wheelchair down paths and such, and meeting people. And if there's basically opportunity to hitchhike, she'll probably just fall in with people and tell people stories, be friendly and amiable. And I rolled a presence, and I got 25 for just socializing with people, finding out about where people are going, being encouraging, and helping out where she can. And I'm just hoping to play this idea of, she is a cripple. Things are harder for her, but she goes out of her way for people. And maybe along with that, if she's gonna move on and roll along one way or another, but maybe people help out.
No, I really like that. All right, let's see.
Did you say she's gonna roll along?
Yeah.
Okay, you literally meant roll.
Yes, literally, because
Why?
paraplegic.
He wanted it to be a pun so bad.
Keep rolling.
All right, that's interesting. I think you're going to. She's definitely going to start hearing whispers of stuff going on, and that's going to easily direct her to where she figures out Ilyad is, because Fennec, of course, is seeking this creature now.
The tormentor?
The torment. Well, that was what he was originally seeking. He knows you have it because when they show up, it's already gone.
Oh, okay. So he already was clued in from the separate source.
Right. You guys were kind of racing to get there first, and you guys did eventually get there first.
I think 𝑑𝒐𝒏𝒄𝒂 during this time is, for the most part, ignoring the whispers of the tormentor. Like, there's just this clear block. It's kind of between them. He's just going to kind of leave it there for now. He's preparing for their journey to the wastes. He's preparing. He knows they're going to be gone for a while. He knows that they're like, the Boy Scout needs to prepare, for everything.
Yeah.
So he's getting the backpacks ready. He's doing that kind of stuff. So even if there's whispers and stuff like that, what may or may not unnerve him is the not breathing part. He doesn't care about the night eating. He doesn't care about the. Does he sleep?
Have you watched?
He would.
As sometimes he'll sit. Sometimes Niccomedes, or I guess we just say the Jinn. Sometimes the Jinn does sit still. Sometimes it closes his eyes. You found that when that happens, a lot of the times not good stuff happens in the night. But he doesn't do it all the time.
Because, as soon as this happened, 𝑑𝒐𝒏𝒄𝒂 would have put himself on a regular watch schedule. Like soldier turns up, right? And so there's going to be a night watch. He's going to basically go to minimal sleeping, and the cycles of, like, he can put himself into deep sleep, and he only has to do it for short periods of time so that he can be awake for long periods of time.
What likely would be seen then is that sometimes Niccomedes just disappears. Sometimes the Jinn just disappears. And you can't physically see him, but there's moments where you're almost certain wind has blown the wrong way, or that was appropriate.
That was.
Wind has blown the wrong way, or you felt a breath at the back of your neck that there was no wind to breathe, that wind to blow. And you definitely have noticed that around, I'm sure we've stayed in an inn.
Yeah.
But, when we're not, and you can see Ilyad while he sleeps, his sleep isn't always...
Get you some chips.
his sleep isn't always sound. It's like he's hearing something that you may not be able to hear, and to kind of responding, or kind of that might be happening too.
Okay.
I'm going to have you roll Fortitude, CR 15, to see how well you handle extended
light sleep?
Yeah, extended light sleep. And then, excuse me.
19.
Okay. Good so far. Kari getting closer, you're going to pick up you're going to find out that some 𝒂𝒔𝒕, or I'm suddenly not 𝒂𝒔𝒕. What's the other one? Oh my gosh, my mind just blanked. The new baddies. 𝒔𝒐𝒻. They call themselves the 𝒔𝒐𝒻. Yes. It means it is a new order of the faith.
I was thinking something else.
It means offspring of purification or of purging, depending on the context of the sentence.
Spelling?
𝒔𝒑𝒆𝒑𝒆𝒑𝒏𝒄𝒂.
And it means?
Offspring of purification or of purging. So, Kari, having that info from Pim Pam, picks up the trail of some 𝒔𝒐𝒻 that are searching for 𝒔𝒑𝒄𝒂 specifically, and have had news of him in this area. And I think this is going to be a really cool way to bring Kari in unless you have, I don't want to take away
I don't
anything
have
you're
anything
thinking.
particular here.
Okay. So we are going to have, as you guys are at camp, set up at camp, and I like the idea that you Berg's watching Ilyad in one of those rough sleep moments. The djinn is gone. You guys are going to get surprised by 𝒔𝒧 but Kari will not be surprised as she has been following them. And that's
What?
what
And these things are like some sort of ghost spirit like thing, or are they physical?
No, that's just the djinn. The
They're
𝒔𝒧 are
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the 𝒔𝒧 are soldiers of the faith, the dragon faith.
Oh, okay.
That are now. It's a new.
So they're not just Drekki.
No, they can be any race.
Okay.
They're just faithful. Their lesser seat 𝒕𝒕 began this order, and it's run by Dardanos, and they go out and find people who have left the faith or renounced it, or simply do not affirm the canonization of our union, and they bring them back for re-education
or purging.
Well, re-education in a 𝒉𝒂𝒐, where they are presented directly by the new high seat why
I
our
rolled my
union
learning,
should be.
I'm good.
I'm good. And they say that if they then still don't accept, they're welcome to then leave the faith. But they want to make sure that everyone gets a full understanding and doesn't just have hearsay. So they bring them back to a 𝒉𝒂𝒐.
It's a double-sided pamphlet.
You always got to look at the check for the hallmark. But anyways, we will be rolling for initiative with a surprise round.
Well, if you're checking for hallmarks on your pamphlets or your religious pamphlets, does that mean there could be a hallmark heresy?
The �𝒧 will take care of that. But before we roll, this has been another fantastical episode of BombSquad, an Avenue Studios production. Do give us a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to follow the adventure. And if you're listening on podcast, do give us a review to help spread the word. You can further support us and become a part of the ever-growing forest known as Avenue Studios by joining our locals or Patreon communities. Doing so will not only help us continue to create high-quality content, but you will gain access to our exclusive Discord where you can play games, watch movies. We had Adam join us actually this week to watch a movie in person. It was a ton of fun, so definitely join in for those. We play games, and we'll be on Twitch soon. Probably already be on Twitch by the time this comes out, actually, so hopefully I've already seen you there. But we'll be having our Patreon games and our locals subscribers games on Twitch. And don't forget to check the links in our description below. And before we sign out, where can people find the Interplanar Crossroads?
Usually on YouTube or BitChute, or, well, better be by the time this goes up. The IOPC.com, and we should have links to our Patreon, Subscribestar, possibly locals if we decide to do that also, as well as hopefully a direct PayPal button for those that want to support the Interplanar Crossroads, because you only have to support once if you want to get access to our Discord where we intend to release any kind of PDF material that we make. Cool. So there we go.
Awesome. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Thank you guys so much for joining the adventure. We will see you next time.
Ciao.
Bye.